What is going on, everybody? My name is Nico and welcome back to another Pokemon video. Today we are going to be having just a little bit of a discussion, okay? Just a little bit of a discussion regarding competitive Pokemon and genning competitive Pokemon, because I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter and I've been in a part of a couple debates on Twitter regarding this specific issue. And I find it very interesting, and I find it to be a topic that just gets brought up game after game after game in regards to Pokemon, because it's something that has just been around forever and something that seems to always be around. So I want to talk about it, my thoughts on it, and my possible solutions on it. And I want to break it all down in this video, because it's just something that people seem to like shout at each other about on social media rather than having civil debates. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone. Some people do, in fact, have civil debates regarding the topic, and I've had a couple civil debates regarding this topic, but it just seems like a lot of the social media presence, just people shouting back and forth their opinions without any actual, discussion regarding the issue at hand. So if you're unfamiliar with what genning is, for whatever reason, maybe you don't play competitive Pokemon, maybe that's just not your jam, genning is the process of creating a Pokemon and transferring it into the game. You create it in like a computer program, or somebody creates it for you, and you will then be able to modify each individual stat for that particular Pokemon, the moves that they have, things like that. Now, there's a difference between a genned Pokemon and an illegal like Pokemon. And it might sound confusing because both are created in computer programs and sent into the game. However, a genned Pokemon is a Pokemon with completely legal movesets and stats. The only reason people do it is because it's faster than doing it organically in game. You're able to get a perfectly legal competitive Pokemon that the game does not register as a problem and lets you use in the online ladder. And you're able to put that in your game and use it, and it just saves you a ton of time. That is a gen Pokemon. An illegal Pokemon, or I don't even know what else to call it, just an illegal Pokemon would be a Pokemon like, let's say, a Magikarp that has Fusion Flare or something crazy like that, right? Has Roar of Time, right? That Pokemon can never learn that move organically. It is not something that could ever happen, and that Pokemon, if you tried to take it in an online battle, would be flagged, and they'd say you cannot take this Pokemon, whatever the notification is. So there is a difference between the two in terms of what people are using it for. So my personal stance on genning Pokemon, I personally don't care either way in the actual game aspect. If you're just playing on the ladder and you're just playing Pokemon to play Pokemon, want to play competitively, want to play the ranked ladder, I do not care if you are genning Pokemon. It does not matter to me, because at the end of the day, if I'm a better trainer than you, if I'm a better player than you, I'm going to be able to beat your Pokemon even though they might have slightly better stats. That's just how Pokemon works. There's too many factors in the game, in my opinion, between critical hits, status effects, just random RNG stuff going on in the game. There's too much going on for me to really pick apart whether or not I was beat because a Pokemon was genned or not genned. Now, there really isn't a fantastic way to tell if there's gen Pokemon on the opposing team, and I don't even bother looking at the opposing team anyways after I get out of a battle. For me, it's just, what did I do wrong in that battle? How could I improve for the next battle? That's how I attack each battle. So for me, genning doesn't matter. I don't even think about it. It's not even a thought that comes to my head when I lose a battle that, oh, they had gen Pokemon and that's the reason I lost. No, there was some factor that happened in that battle, some misplay on my part, or a lucky critical hit on their part. Something happened, a good play on their part, something occurred in the battle that led to me being beaten. That's why I just don't really care. However, if you're talking in a competitive sense, like you're going to tournaments and you're playing for money, I think you should not be genning in those instances. If you're just playing on the personal ladder, I don't give a shit. I don't really care at all. But if you're playing on the competitive side and playing for money and doing all those things, I really don't think you should be genning. However, there's a lot of conflict surrounding it, because a lot of people are just outright, mad. They're genning is cheating. You shouldn't be genning, blah, 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 blah. My thought personally is that genning has been around for as long as I can remember. I remember as a kid discovering genning and genning Pokemon into my, Diamond and Pearl and my Black and White save files. Like, as a kid, I was like, this is so cool. I can create whatever Pokemon I want. And I didn't really play competitively. It wasn't a thought in my head, right? Versus you go into now, it's still around. This is still a problem. However, it seems that, Pokemon Company are doing things to try and mitigate this. But to me, if Genning is still around, there's just an issue on the developer side of things. Why are there not better systems in place that are, catching these Pokemon? Why are they not able to prevent these Pokemon from being in play? Why at competitions are they requiring players to bring their own Nintendo Switch? Why is the Pokemon Company International not providing these games individually for every player? Why do they not require a team sheet for the team that player wants to use at that particular tournament? And then why are they not genning the Pokemon themselves and putting them onto save files so they know exactly what those Pokemon are, how those Pokemon were acquired? They know the exact stats. If you go to any other competition, those PCs and those accounts are provided for those players so that they are able to play with a non-modded version of whatever they're doing, right? So why does Pokemon not do the same thing and create the Pokemon for the players based on a team sheet that is provided when they are going to play at these competitions? It's just something that I feel like could be fixed on the developer side of things. Now, why do people gen? I talked about this a little bit already. It's just easier. It's so much easier in terms of genning versus doing things organically. So I have a tweet here that I want to share in regards to this issue by the 8-Bit King, and I had a lot of discussion with this particular individual regarding the genning issue in Pokemon and how we both felt on it. We've had a lot of really good conversations about it, a lot of civil debate. Both of us have differing opinions, but we are able to just talk about it and, state our opinions without, slandering one another. And I think that's the important thing. So if you know of the 8-Bit King, if you plan to, go look at some of these tweets regarding these issues, don't be rude. Don't be rude. There's no reason for that at all. You're allowed to have a different opinion from somebody, but be civil and be respectful of one another. So that's all I'm going to say in regards to that issue, but I want to talk about this particular tweet. But basically, they broke down the statistics of it. I haven't checked this math. I don't know. I know that this is accurate, okay? So in Ultra Sun, you'd be able to soft reset for a Trick Room, 0 speed, 0 attack Dialga. You'd be able to soft reset for this. 1 in 1,536 chance every 1 minute plus the playthrough time to get to that point in the game. So they estimated that roughly 45 hours would be the requirement to get this particular Dialga in game. So they're saying that genning a Pokemon would be an advantage because you didn't put the effort in to actually grind for this, the 45 hours or whatever it would actually be to acquire this Pokemon. And that's a fair assessment. However, if it's taking you 45 hours to get that Pokemon, and that's leading to people cheating to begin with, that to me is not an issue with, players not wanting to play the game, because players want to play the game for different reasons, whether it be shiny hunting, they want to play competitive, but they don't want to take the time, they don't have the time, whatever it may be. If the game itself is pushing you to just create the Pokemon so you can participate in the part of the game that you want to begin with, I see that as a developer issue. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people saying, well, just don't do it. They need to not do it. That's not a thing that's ever going to happen. That is never going to happen. People are always going to be cheating. That is just the nature of any competitive game. There's aimbots, there's wall hacks, in other games. There's tons of things that are just playing the game for other people. In other games, and Pokemon's no different. There's going to be people that are still going to continue to gen, even if they made it brain dead easy to create Pokemon for competitive play. That's just how competitive games work. However, just saying don't do it is not going to be something that is going to actually help move the situation forward. I feel like you have to provide ways to mitigate the problem. You have to lower the occurrence of that issue. It's just how it works. If you don't do anything, the problem is just going to remain. But if you create solutions that can actually lower the reason people are resorting to genning, then you're going to have less and less people doing it. It becomes a smaller and smaller problem, something a tad more easier to manage every iteration of the game. That way you can keep building new systems and build on the foundation you already have to continue to mitigate this problem over time. Now, I have a couple ideas here. Some are more probable than others, but I want to talk about all of them individually here. So the first is the accessibility of competitive play in Pokemon. This is something that has been a problem for a long time. For example, I personally did not start playing Pokemon competitively until Pokemon Sword and Shield. The reason for that being is Pokemon Sword and Shield did a fantastic job at adding new features and items and just ways for you to get in and start experiencing competitive Pokemon without really having to put in a ton of time like you had in previous generations through things like bottle caps. Being able to fix EVs that way is fantastic. Being able to change the nature of a Pokemon and not have to breed a Pokemon over and over and over to get the right nature. With the mints, it's fantastic. It's great additions. The gold bottle caps. There's tons of things that they added. Not everything they could have added, but there's a lot of things that they've added here that give a lot of new players like myself who never played competitive Pokemon before a way to hop in and start playing and making competitively viable Pokemon without having to go through a bunch of hoops. And that's something that right there is going to solve a lot of this issue. If you make competitive Pokemon more accessible through in-game means, you're going to be able to lower the amount of people that are just going to resort to genning. If you make acquiring a competitively viable Pokemon, for example, Incineroar is in like 60% of VGC teams right now, right? I can make, because I have all the stuff already in game, I can make a competitively viable Incineroar with a hidden ability, everything you need. I can do that in like 15 minutes at most. Like, it's just that easy because I have everything I already need, because I've bred the Pokemon, I have the battle points necessary, you know, I have a Ditto that's good for breeding, I have all of that stuff that is going to make a competitive Pokemon easy to acquire. And I can, if I needed it, I could get bottle caps with my BP, I could get mints with my BP, you know, I have all of that stuff at my disposal. So if you lower the entry time into getting the Pokemon and make it so it's not like 45 hours like the Dialga example, you're able to mitigate the number of people that are gonna be like, well, I'd rather just gen because it's 1,000 times faster. You're going to decrease that number. So I think there's some things they could do for sure. The big one to me at this time mainly is just removing certain EVs. Like, everybody wants a 0-speed Pokemon for Trick Room setups. Just make another bottle cap. Why is there not a rusted or broken bottle cap that just removes that stat? Why is there not something like that in game, so you're just able to be like, okay, I don't want this stat, I want to use this Pokemon in a Trick Room setting, boom, bing, bing, boom, you got it. You have a 0-speed Pokemon, you're able to use that effectively. That mitigates the whole need to grind over and over and over for a 0-speed Pokemon. You just catch whatever Pokemon you need, throw the bottle cap on it, and you're done. Problem solved. That's a 5-minute endeavor right there alone. That, I feel, alone makes it super, super easy to lower the number of people doing it. But I think also you need to make those items easier and fun to acquire. For example, if you look at Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, those games are absolutely terrible for acquiring bottle caps, mints, anything like that is horrible in those games. I totally understand why people would want to gen in those games. It is just downright atrocious trying to get competitive items in that game. So make those items actually easy to acquire. Now, I don't think they were overly difficult to acquire in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think they did a good job with throwing them into raids and throwing them into the BP and giving you a lot of BP for certain aspects of the game. I think they could make the prices just a smidge lower, and that way they're even easier to acquire. But I think Sword and Shield was on the right track, and they could definitely build off what Sword and Shield started in Scarlet and Violet. Now, the third way that I have to kind of lower this is allow some sort of way for us to create a way to replicate competitively viable Pokemon. Now, I don't care how you got to spin this lore-wise, like scientists figured out how to use Ditto's DNA to clone Pokemon rather than having to go through the breeding process, whatever. But if you're able to do that, that automatically lowers the amount of people that are genning, because, for example, I have a competitive Incineroars that I use on a bunch of different teams, different sets, you know, same with Rillabooms. So I would be able to clone that Pokemon and then go, okay, who needs this Pokemon? And then somebody could have something that I needed. Say somebody else had a 0-speed Dialga that I needed. We'll just keep going back to that example. And I could trade them one of my competitive Incineroars for their Dialga, and then bing, bing, bang, boom. People are stopping genning. We're now working as a community to have more competitive Pokemon. And then you just kind of null out the people that are going to cheat. There's still going to be people that want to cheat because they're, you know, don't want to communicate with other players to trade those Pokemon, but that number is so much smaller than the people that want to work as a community and better the game. So adding some sort of feature like that where you can just simply, you know, one person does the work and then can create multiple of that Pokemon. That is something that could very easily remove a lot of the genning necessity from the game, because a lot of people run the same sets. I mean, if you just go to a website like Pikalytics, you can just pull up what sets people are running, and people are going to copy and paste those into Showdown, and they're going to try them, and they're going, okay, this is what I want to use, and then they go and make it in game. So if you could just cut out the middle ground of having to every person that plays Pokemon, you know, work and make the same Pokemon, just have it so people can create copies of their Pokemon and trade them out, and that there's more trading going on. There's a bigger sense of community and working together, which is what they want. That's why they keep putting out more than one game every time. They want us to work together. They want us to play together. It's a thing that I feel could really help. I don't think it's likely, but I think it's something that could help. The final thing is something I never see happening, because I think it's a money thing at the end of the day. The Pokemon Company needs to create a Showdown style game where you can just build whatever Pokemon you want, link it to Pokemon Home, and as soon as you catch a Pokemon and send it to Home, you can send that data to the Showdown style game, and then you're able to just use whatever Pokemon you have registered in your Pokemon Home Pokedex, and you're able to change the IVs, change the EVs, change the movesets to whatever's legal for competitive play at the time. That is going to be the best way for them to just nullify this altogether. I don't think this is something that's ever going to happen, because at that point there's going to be people that just don't bother buying the new games, and that's what's going to be the big thing. They want dollar signs, and they're just going to keep putting out new Pokemon games, and if you're able to just play competitive Pokemon without the need to buy the new game, people are likely not going to buy the new game, and that's something the Pokemon Company doesn't want. But that is something that would be the most healthy for solving this issue. That's really all I have on the subject. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you care about genning? Is it something that bugs you? What solutions do you have for this issue? I'm very curious what everybody has to say. Those are my thoughts. Those are my solutions. I hope you found the video entertaining. I hope if you did, leave a like, smash the subscribe button for more Pokemon stuff from me in the future. But thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Peace.